my name is Mackenzie Yamazaki, and I'm a realtor with Berkshire Hathaway in Anaheim Hills. And today I'm going to be going over how to buy your first investment property. So I have 7 steps that I'm going to go over, and each step has a little bit more detail inside of it. For me, it personally took me 2 years from the moment that I started step 1 to the moment that I ended step 7. For some people, it took way less time than that, and for some people, it took way more time than that. So everybody goes on their own timeline at their own pace. I'm going to go over the 7 steps. Step number 1 is the easiest. It's committing to buying a property. Just taking that first step and saying to yourself, I want to be a landlord, I want to be an investor, I want to invest in real estate. So that's step number 1. It's the easiest, and 2 years ago is when I officially decided I wanted to be a landlord. Like, that was on my, it wasn't even actually on my goals yet, but it was in my future. I knew for sure. Step number 2 is to think about financing. How are you going to finance the property? Are you going to buy it with cash? Are you going to mortgage it? Are you going to partner with somebody? And when you partner with somebody, you can both put in money, or you guys can both put in the down payment, or you can have somebody else fund it and you do all of the work. There are tons of different options, and I'm going to go over all of those in another video, but that is step number 2. You need to figure out how you're going to finance this property. Step number 3, I think, takes a good amount of time, but deciding where you want to purchase your property. For me, I knew that I was not going to purchase it in California. I was okay with being able to have a long distance relationship with my property. Some people, they need to have it, in their backyard, not literally, but they need to have it within driving distance from them. And some people are okay with having them out of state. It is all up to preference. I personally felt comfortable doing it out of state, so that is where I invested, but that is not for everyone. Step number 4 is to research the area, and I would take your time doing this, and I would really dig deep. For me, I personally look for job diversification. I don't want to go to a neighborhood where everybody's working in the mining field or everybody's working at the same company, because if something unfortunately happens to that company or that field of work, you could potentially have a bigger issue if you are purchasing more than one property in that area, or if you're just purchasing property in that area. So I like to have job diversification. Everyone has kind of just different jobs and they all work at different places. I look for a good neighborhood. By good, I mean, sidewalks, tree-lined streets. I like to look at the economy of the state and make sure that the state is doing well, or that it is in an upward trend. I don't need it to be the best state, but I just need to see that the state is moving forward, or that it will be moving forward. Also, researching the potential return on your investment is a really good idea, because if you're looking at a neighborhood that has very low home prices but pretty high rent prices for when you're comparing them, then you know that you're going to probably get that with your home. Obviously, once you find your home, which is in a couple steps, you're going to want to run all of the numbers in and out and run them a couple times and be really cautious with them. But I do like to look for neighborhoods with low home prices and high rent prices, just as my basic research. Step number 5 is to build your team, and I think this is probably one of the most important steps. I personally flew out to where I was purchasing my properties. I wanted to just shake their hand and see in person who I was going to be working with. I am so grateful and happy that I did that, because I really felt comfortable through the whole process. Because it is out of state, I never actually walked in the property that I purchased. So I was putting all of my trust in my realtor, my property manager, my inspector, my loan officer. So I wanted to personally fly out there and meet them. If you are doing it in your state, I still highly recommend that you meet your team and that you build a good, trustworthy team. And the property manager and you are going to be BFFs. So you want to find somebody that you can work well with and that is going to take care of your property like it was their own. And I personally love my property manager. She's awesome. I talk to her probably once a month. And she just gives me like little updates and just kind of keeps everybody on the same page, which is really awesome. Step number 6 is the most fun. Step number 6 is going to be to actually find the properties. Once you find the properties, then you run the numbers. So the numbers are going to be how much the purchase price is, how much money you're putting into it, and how much it's going to rent out for. I'm going to do a whole video on how to run these numbers, and I run them on the very cautious side for the absolute what if something awful happens. Something that did save us a little bit of time was that we purchased properties that already had existing good tenants in them. Of course, my property manager went and vetted them, and we've during the purchasing process, we also looked at their lease, and we made sure that we were comfortable with the lease that they were already in, and then we also let them know that when that lease expired, that we would review their tenancy with us, and that we would either be moving forward with a new contract or we would be parting ways. Fortunately, we got really great tenants and they've been awesome, but we also did go and vet them before we even purchased the property, and we also looked at their current lease before we purchased this property. Step number 7 is to actually purchase the property. I know this doesn't seem like it should be a step, but it is so easy to get busy just doing all of this, and then when it comes to actually purchasing it, I think it's the scariest part because you're really doing it. You are really putting your money on the line, you're really putting your time on the line, and you're actually going forward with the process. It's easy to talk about it, it's easy to look at houses, it's easy to meet the team and make a vacation out of it, but to actually purchase the property I think is the hardest part. But once you do, it just feels so good. So I hope this video was really helpful. If you have any questions about owning properties or how to purchase them or potential areas to look in, I would love to hear from you. I would love to help you. And one last thing is referrals. I think referrals are the best. Using someone that you know has already used them, they trust them, and they had a good experience versus trying to find and build this team all by yourself with nothing to go off of. I think that would be my like little tip of the day. So all of my team was referral based, and the person that I got the referral from, I work with and I trust, and it honestly worked out in my best benefit. So if you have any questions or you need a referral, there are certain states that I work with and work in. I would love to help you. So please subscribe. It lets the internet world know that my videos are worth watching, and it really helps me out. Thank you.